Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. This should be on the YouTube channel, James13 Wicca. I will be putting the dice and the decks I'm using below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below, same email. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the reading you chose. Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Libra? I don't know. Your card. We like that. Okay, your card is coming up in your power position, so we like that. Okay. So if your card is coming up in your power position, I'm getting that this situation you have a heavy amount of influence over. And I feel like the whole point of this reading is going to go kind of like, before it gets too far, they want you to see possibilities before it's kind of like, oh, that was there. It's kind of like passing by a town and going, oh, there, oh, we're still, okay. It's kind of like, but it's kind of like if you've already passed it on the highway, it's kind of like, oh, I guess we technically could turn around, but it doesn't look very likely. How's that? So it's before you get there, before it passes you by, before the opportunity kind of whizzes past you, they want you to know that it's coming. Because this is a situation you have heavy amount of influence over, whether you realize it or not. You got the Four of Pentacles in the past, which, yeah, I mean, they're backing it up with the Hierophant and the Four of Pentacles. Earth, Earth, Earth. This situation, at least in the past, has not wanted to budge. So an analogy would be almost like growing up a certain way, and then as you get older, new family members come in. Inevitably, older family members leave the story. Not to be, I hope that doesn't sound too depressing, but you know what I mean. If this was a work situation, it could be one of those things where maybe you started lower down the rungs and you've moved your way up since, but when you were lower down in the rungs, nobody really cared what your opinion was, or they listened, but they didn't really do anything with it, if that made sense. Something here where over time, in the past, there was just so much that could be done. And things I do feel like have changed. Things may have changed in a way, though, that maybe you don't realize that they've changed, that you do have more power than you've had before, or maybe you don't realize how much power you actually have now. Your strength is up. It's there. But it may be one of those things where it's like, yeah, but yeah, it's stressful. I'm not used to having this type of power. I keep getting that maybe either I'm avoiding it or I don't believe it. One of the two. You got the Seven of Swords, which could be like stealing away, sneaking out, sneaking away, or not believing. In my opinion, in this situation, maybe that you don't believe that you actually have this ability or this strength in this situation. Kind of like, yeah, it looks like it on paper, but I don't think these people would go along with what I'm thinking. And there's perceived boundaries, and there are some boundaries here, but what the actual boundaries are may not be quite in focus. It's almost like thinking there's a square plot of land, but it's actually more of a triangle shape, and there's more area here than expected. It's kind of goes like the square would be contained within the rectangle, so there's more here. not realizing how far things can actually go and where they can actually be, that type of thing. One way to find out is to test it. Really? Okay. Where are we going with that? I'm going to roll the dice for this. What do we mean test it? I'm sure if that's applicable, you would know what would be safe to do. Try to break the boundaries a little bit. Confidence is like the suggestion here. Give yourself a chance. See what you can do. Do something random. See what happens. You're not going to do anything horrible. You're not going to do anything horrible. Especially if you're doing something that you're looking to help other people, which is typically the MO of Libra, to help, to get things to balance better. Make a random decision. A random decision you think will help, and just see what happens. Just push the boundary. You could always play that, oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that, if it seems to go bad. I keep getting break the boundary. Break the boundary, test it in a way that serves the situation. You're not going to do something malicious. I just don't see that happening. At least for the people I'm connecting with, I don't see a malicious move going on here. You're going to be surprised that people pick up what you're putting down. But, you connect to the right people. People want what? You're connecting with their wants. I feel like you know how to do this. Libra is smart. You're not just going to do something whimsical that you know isn't going to work. You know how to say things. You know how to get it in there. You have more influence than you're realizing is what I keep getting. Yeah. I do get it. It'll work. But I also get that, like, it also seems to be ignored once it's done what it needs to be done. Once what happens needs to happen, I feel like people ignore it after. So the analogy I'm kind of getting is kind of like if you're on a road trip for like a week or two, and you're like, I wonder if I do have the influence to get what I want. I would love to go to this barbecue place that's like 20 miles up the road here. We're on this road anyway. And I know that so-and-so likes barbecue. Let me see if I can get so-and-so into it and see if we can get it to happen. So you're like, hey, so-and-so, did you know a barbecue place is coming on up over here? Wouldn't that be fun? I would love to go to that. And they're like, I would love to go to that. And they get everybody excited, and you end up going to this barbecue place. You enjoy lunch. You guys move on, and then people just move on like it's nothing big, and they just kind of let it go into the past. It worked, but I also feel like it disappears. Does that make sense? That's testing the boundaries. Are people going to listen to me? Can I get this to work? I wanted that barbecue. I knew who to work it through. They backed me up. Well, they actually took the lead on it, which is even better. They helped me make it happen. I wanted to make it happen. I'm the one who brought it forward. I'm the reason it actually happened. But people don't seem to understand that I'm the one who made it happen. It's like going right over. But I got what I wanted, and that's what mattered. I got where I wanted to be, and that's what happened. So I got what I wanted out of the situation. Okay. The energy is very positive to you at this time. At this time. Well, and I'm saying at this time, in the future, there's an opportunity coming forward for you. And the energy is going to be very positive. People are going to be very good to you at this time. They may not be good to each other, but they'll be good to you. Keep that in mind. There's an opportunity to kind of change what's going on here and to kind of realign how things are set, how things are placed. I'm looking at this plot of land, and I see people like moving like moving houses around, which is really odd to me, but whatever. It's kind of like moving pieces around so that people connect differently and maybe act better. There's this people seem to be getting along with you better than each other. And I get that there's an opportunity here. So, okay. I think I got it. But I'll roll the dice anyway. This moment, once you have the ability to make this happen, it will not be consistent, but it will keep returning. It reminds me of Halley's Comet almost. Comes back. I don't know if it's going to be like as clockwork like that, though. But it's almost like, eclipses and stuff, which are actually mathematical too, I know. But it's like your ability to change or move things around will come in and go out, come in and go out, come in and go out. You will have more abilities. I feel like you have more ability and more input than you realize, but it's like sometimes it's going to be easier for you to move things around. Other times it's going to be much more difficult. And I feel like they're saying be careful with this situation and realize that it seems like it works fairly easy in this one moment, but they're saying always pay attention to what's going on and how people are treating each other. Less is more. Be careful of being center stage. Once in a while is fine, but I wouldn't want to stay there too long. Be careful of that. Once in a while is fine, but don't stay there too long. It's like whatever this is ebb and flow. And keep researching what's going on. Keep researching how things are playing out. Your moments will come and go. They'll come and go. They'll come and go. Choose your moments carefully. What's really important to you? What really needs to stay? What really needs to go? Stuff like that. Center stage, pull back. I feel like less is more. Less is more. You have more strength, more ability if you use it less. It's almost like it's banking almost. Less is more. You're more effective with less. So it's almost like, I don't know, within a month's time, you could be out there every day trying to get your point across, trying to move things around. That would not go well. And I get that some days would be more difficult than others, but versus like instead of going every day throughout the month, once, maybe twice a week, maybe. And I wouldn't make it like clockwork. Once, maybe twice a week getting out there, maybe less depending on if it's worth it. Maybe this month you did it once, twice a week. Next month, maybe you only did it once. Maybe the month after you did it 7 or 8 times. It doesn't have to be consistent, but they're saying less is more. If you're seen out in the front too much, things start to become a problem. You might end up getting targeted. But if the more you hold back and just show up when you feel like it's absolutely necessary, the more effective you're going to be. It also, I think that's why I'm holding the well-being card. This is emotionally taxing. Mentally, emotionally, however you want to put it. Both. It's going to be taxing. It's another reason, kind of like they're saying less is more. Because if this is something where you're constantly in it every day, it's going to be quite laborsome for you. And it's going to start bringing down your energy, and it's going to be a lot to deal with. If you just touch base, like this month, all right, once or twice a week. Next month, maybe you only do it once or twice for the whole month. And, make sure it's worth it for you. I keep getting, if you're out there in the front too much, you're probably going to get targeted. I don't think that has to happen. So keep that in mind. Okay. That's a very curious combination of cards. How does this connect to Libra themselves? Success will not always look like success. Success will not always look like success. You got the Six of Wands coming in like that. You got the Emperor coming in right up. There are there are definitely difficult people here. It's just there. I just keep getting difficult people here and there. They don't have to target you. Um, it may once in a while if you just kind of pull back and take a vacation from the situation and then re-add in later, especially if it starts to get a little bit itchy scratchy and you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable, take a vacation from it, come back in later. Granted, there'll probably be some things that happen that you don't really care for, but it's easier to clean up afterwards than being in the middle of the battle trying to shut it down, because certain things are just going to happen the way they're going to happen. Naturally, you have to decide what you feel is right. Clearly, do what you feel is right. But I'm getting like when it starts to get a little tense, and that's why I'm getting these two cards, because I feel like this is more like this could work better for you if like it starts getting a little bit heated and you just take a time out for a little while. It's kind of like that's how they want to go about it. That they want to be that way to each other. All right, let them figure out their own problems. And then when it all cools down, you come back in and try to like smooth it out and put it where it should be. You don't have to be the target. You don't have to be. And if they want to be rough with each other, well, then maybe that's on them. There's a better way to balance this out. If you're able to create this flow. Okay, so I'm going to talk to 4 cards, but I'm only going to show you these 2 for this part. It should start matching up if it works well. Especially if you get into this pattern where you guys are getting a bit much. I'm not going to be your target, so I'm going to take a timeout. I'll come back in later, and I'll tell you how to clean that up, and you're going to clean it yourself. But I'm not going to clean it for you, but I'll tell you how to clean it. People will start pulling back when you start pulling back, and they might approach you and kind of go, "Oh, Libra, I noticed you were kind of pulling back. Why were you doing that?" You guys are starting to get a little bit, a little bit too much with each other. I don't think you guys have to be that mean to each other. And if you're going to be mean to each other, I don't need to be there. I'm not going to be anybody's target. And they're going to be like, well, all right, you got a little bit like that. Well, I think if you handle it this way, it doesn't have to be that way. And I feel like they'll start kind of going, all right, you're right. Every now and then they're going to be the way they're going to be to each other. It's just going to be. But I just feel like you're going to start this flow where they're going to notice, oh, Libra's pulling back again. Why is Libra pulling back? And then somebody will ask you, and you'll be like, well, you guys are starting to be mean to each other, and I don't need to be a part of that. I'm here for solutions. I'm here for peace. If you don't want to solve things and be peaceful with each other, you do what you got to do to each other, but I'm not going to be a part of that bloodbath. I don't want to be a part of that. It will start stabilizing the situation. The freedom from the problems, the freedom from, getting through the violent part of it. Like people realizing we can solve this in a peaceful way. Not always. It won't always work out that way, but it should be a more likely event. More likely. Not always, but more likely with this one. And it'll stabilize the situation. I feel like there's going to be moments here where people are going to choose to be rotten. But then I feel like it's going to be more highlighted. The people who are choosing that and the people who have to deal with that will handle it appropriately. Does that make sense? I just feel like some people choose to be mean. They just choose that. It's kind of like, well, if you're choosing that, I want people to know you're choosing that, and then they can decide to deal with you how they decide to deal with you. It does seem to highlight people who are being aggressive just for the sake of being aggressive. I understand sometimes people need to step forward and say something. That's one thing. But this is kind of going to highlight something where sometimes people they're just aggressive just because they just want to be aggressive. That's uncalled for. So that should also help this iron out in a way that you don't have to directly deal with it, but other people are going to see it more as like, that person didn't need to say that way, and I don't even understand where that came from. Let's deal with that person directly because they seem to be the person starting the problem, if that makes sense. Overall, and I want to make sure this ends with like the Libra information, they're trying to give you a way to get into this, to realize how you could kind of manage this a little bit differently, be more effective, and not have to deal with the aggressiveness at least as much. Is it foolproof? Will you never have to deal with aggression again? Would you believe me if I said that anyway? I mean, that's not going to be the case, but I don't think you'd believe me anyway, even if I said it. And good for you. But it should bring it down a bit, at least in this situation, and it should make it better, more comfortable than it has been. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.